You can tell the piece is really intense, and given the nature of the song, that it's about a really intense wartime when a certain military force took out an area that wasn't necessarily involved with the war, but was a big arts mecca and a big sort of glowing heart of the community. They took it out to cut out, obviously to tear the hearts out of people. So the piece is obviously intense, the intention is intense. So yeah, you can tell that from the sound of the music and the dance as well.
Shastakovich was an extremely well-known composer during the era when Stalin was in power in the Soviet Union.
To me, it was just all really dark. Anytime you sort of look up images about Dresden during that time, it's a bunch of dead bodies piled on top of each other. It doesn't even give a lot of description. It's just a lot of death and a lot of sadness. So the idea of the piece, with the intensity and the death, those are all the images that really come to mind. It's just really dark. There's nothing really positive about it.
It's a very violent and very emotional music. Shostakovich.
Violent.
Yeah, tornadoes.
It's tornado.
I think it's tornadoes.
Whirlwind.
What happened is that Shostakovich had a visit to Dresden.
Dresden, yeah.
Once after the city was totally bombarded. The music is inspired to everything that Shostakovich saw there.
The official story is that this music is to show the representation of the general anger that was towards the Germans during World War II. With the amount of genocide that took place in the process of the Germans coming into the Soviet Union, going through the Ukraine, working their way all the way up to the gates of Moscow and then failing at that point.
Well, I feel like hope is a big, important message of the piece, is because there is always light at the tunnel, and it's always darkest before the dawn, and I think that's what the piece was supposed to be about, was understanding that looking at all these things is really dark and destructive, but there is going to be something at the end of it, and it's going to be better than this.
In the arrangement, and at times it's very confusing, at times it's very almost like a swarm of notes, and that's the whole point, was it's to show that utter blind rage that can become from being pigeonholed, or being forced into a cage that you're supposed to live the rest of your life.
Well, the piece is intense. I think that the actions that the musicians have to make to create the music is intense. I would imagine the dance that's going to be produced to this is going to be intense. To me, the mark making became very important because of the intensity of the music. The reason I chose blue, I was trying to think of hope and not trying to be too literal to have a very intense light source that was very accurate to what light is, but I wanted people to understand that there was light in it. So I chose blue because, to me personally, the ocean is endless, the sky is endless. You can see an intense storm and you can feel the hurt of a hurricane, but at the end of the day, it's blue and it's beautiful, and there's a lot of hope in that, even though it's such a dark color. And I appreciated the dichotomy of it being a really dark color that you associate with sadness, but to me that I could really relate to positivity.